And we are live. What's up, man?
Not much, man. It's good to see you. I think we met one time in Scranton at the B Spot for the music awards, and that might have been the only time we ever met.
Yeah, probably. It's been a minute.
Yeah, for sure. But I got to say, thanks for having me on. I'm a huge fan of your podcast. I'm a big podcast listener all around, and mostly like the LA circuit. And by that, I mean the Austin, Texas circuit. But yeah, man, definitely huge fan of your show and
Thank you.
everything you're doing with the shirts, for a cause and everything like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm joined today by Frank Marcinkowski from the band. Let's not screw it up. Mellifluous.
Aced it.
Aced it. Sweet. It's not easy, but you guys have some new music coming out shortly.
Yes, we do.
What's the plan? What's going on?
So we can get into the nitty gritty, but yeah, we're going to release our first EP in a couple weeks, February 25th. And we're pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure. We'll play one of the songs off of that EP at the end of this podcast, so that's exciting. So thanks for hooking me up.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you.
So this is the first recorded material from the band.
Yes, yes, it is. It's been a while now. We've only been a band for, we're going to be coming up on 2 years, I think in March. And then we wanted to get this EP out in 2020, and we had a couple hurdles.
Like what? What happened in 2020 that could possibly have kept you guys
just
from
some small stuff here and there. I stubbed my toe. My computer broke down.
Yeah.
No, well, there was a couple things. We actually recorded this EP with another engineer, and we weren't liking how it was going, and like for the price and everything, we decided, we're gonna start fresh. Friend of mine, Tony DeMito, he's from the area. He's from Nanticoke. He graduated actually with my mom. That's how I know him. But right from Nanticoke, he went to Berkeley and then went out to LA and kind of, made it in the music business there, right, from movies and TV shows, stuff like that. So we decided to, start recording with him, but he lives now in Phoenix, Arizona. So we had to record everything right here. And this is my studio in my house.
You got a sweet setup there. I love the backdrop. You came prepared with a nice mic, some headphones.
Yeah, I had the tools, so I figured I might as well use them.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was gonna set up the other mics, and then the other guys both ditched out on me like last minute.
Yeah, what's up with that, guys?
So Joe ended up having some family stuff in the Poconos he had to go do, and then Scam, Joe's our bass player, then Mike Scam, our drummer, he it's COVID related.
Oh no.
Yeah, he works at his college, and I guess somebody else that he works with got COVID. So then he got called into work, and so they put it on him last minute, like last night after I sent you the email with the song and everything. So it was late, and then
that's all good, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm here.
We got Frank.
Yes, sir.
So you were recording in your studio and sending them off to the guy in Arizona?
Yep. Yeah. So we actually recorded the drums. We put together a room actually at the this bar we were playing at in town, Mill and Jim's Parkway, the Parkway, as most people call it. So we ended up like building as much as we can of a drum room to record everything there. And Norm, our sound guy, for all the live shows and stuff, he hooked us up with like all the mics and everything. So we recorded the drums there. We sent them off. And then, we were learning. We never recorded anything. I never like hit the LCCC music recording technology course or anything. So we actually recorded all the drums for the EP because Scam was going away, and then sent them out. I got a call. He was like, "Hey, when's your drummer going away?" I'm like, "Oh, not for like some more weeks." He goes, "All right, yeah, I'm gonna need that back." So we had to re-record all all the drums for the whole EP again. We had to like tweak some things, just like mic setups and stuff like that. We laugh because our song Snake Pit, which is the first song we wrote, that one we probably recorded like 6 times through and through, just through different engineers and then different things. So we learned, they say you learn more from failure than you do success, and we've been learning a lot with this EP.
That's the truth. That's the truth for sure. Which I think is good. I think if everything came easy, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And now we have our process down. We've been writing songs because we've had these songs written, these 5, for a while. We've been playing them, and then we've been telling our fans like, yeah, we're gonna release this EP. And then COVID happened, and that was another big thing, was the the quarantine, where at first it was like, no, we probably really shouldn't leave our houses. So like the OG quarantine with everything, we had like probably a month where we didn't really do much. And then recording vocals, and I got COVID, and then there was no
Really?
singing for a while. Yeah.
What was that like?
So it was weird. The first day I was actually at a show that day, like a solo acoustic thing. My nose burned, and I just knew it was weird. We played like a show the week before, and there were people there, so I was kind of just like a little on the fence. I'm like, my nose burns, it's a weird symptom, I kind of feel okay, but I didn't want to chance it, so I canceled the gig that night. I was like, I'm starting to feel sick, I don't want to risk anything. Then the next day I woke up in a puddle of sweat, the worst like headache, body ache, fever that I've ever experienced. Like, I had the body aches as if I like fell off of a roof. That's the best way to describe it. So I was for about 3 days I was pretty sick. After that I was just like tired for like 4 weeks.
Wow.
Of just no energy. Just I'd feel fine for a couple days, and I'd wake up and I just feel like shit again. But yeah, I'd be on the phone with people and I'd be like, hey, I gotta hang up, like I can't really talk, like I'm winded from just talking,
Wow.
winded from using the steps and stuff like that. So that put a little bit of a delay on the EP as well with all that.
And when was that? When did you have COVID?
That was back in October. The end of October, we played a couple October fests, and it was cool. It was like everything started to pick up late in the summer, with the outdoor stuff, and then it was getting cold, but we were still like hanging on, playing some like colder outdoor shows. But yeah, the end of October is when I got sick, and then that just, like I said, it was about a month. I never got a cough. That was the weirdest thing. I didn't get a cough. I guess I had a sore throat, but it was just, I went to sing and there was just like nobody home. Like I just had to build it up for like every day, just doing certain vocal exercises and stuff to just slowly build it back up.
Crazy. How are you now? Because I've heard that we don't know the long-term effects of people who have COVID, and there's some people who've had experienced symptoms even after.
Right. Yeah. So now I'm good. I haven't noticed any long-term things other than like that whole month of just being tired. But now I've been good. I've been like working out and running and lifting and stuff again.
Cool.
I go on like these crazy camping trips once in a while, so I've been able to do that again.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird when this first happened. Like nobody here in northeastern Pennsylvania was like really getting affected by it. But then, yeah, come like October, late fall, I mean, it just kind of like everyone knew somebody who had it at that point.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it got pretty sketchy. It was like everybody I knew had it or knew somebody who had it. And then we had there was a couple times where we were gonna play like a small, like a birthday party. We got like some kind of gig for that. And then it was a couple days before, oh, this one has COVID, the party's off. That happened like twice, where we were gonna play and then somebody got COVID, and then we didn't end up playing at all.
yeah, what did last year look like for you as a band? And obviously, like this is the first kind of new music from the band that you recorded and you're going to put out. But You've mentioned a few times that you played shows, birthday parties, or out at the bar and things like that. What did last year look like for you guys as far as getting through that?
Yeah, so about 12 months ago, everything was still in the norm. Um, and we were starting to make some waves. We had this EP, we were originally at this time recording with the first engineer this time last year. But everything was looking good. We were starting to make some waves, gain some traction. We were hitting like, the local bar scene. We play like a bunch of covers and stuff too. But then we were always playing our originals and stuff. And so the EP, we were starting to work on that. We had a couple festivals booked for the summer. And then we had a tour. We were going to hit a couple different states up just like around this area of, it was going to be the first ever Mellifluous tour. And then, so that all went down the drain pretty much. So we had a lot of big plans, a lot of big stuff. I think the original EP release date, and I think that was like September it was supposed to be. And then I remember being in September and recording stuff and like just kind of laughing at that release date. But it was tough. We didn't really have the tools here in our studio to really do a lot of live streams or a lot of virtual content. I did a couple acoustic things here and there, but that still just doesn't hit the same as a real live gig. You got to feed off of the people. That's a big part of it, like for me. So yeah, it was definitely tough. It put a damper on the EP. It put a damper on the tour we were going to hit. I never really hit a tour with any other band, so that was going to be my first tour all in all. I think the other guys could kind of say the same. So we were definitely bumming, just trying to do whatever we can, try to stay engaged with people, let them know that we're still working, we're still a band, we still exist. That was as much as we really could do.
Yeah, and I guess you're going to release this EP in end of this month, and typically, you'd be able to go play shows, hit different states. But what's the plan right now? Because I feel like, unfortunately, sadly, we still can't make plans for the future.
Right. Yeah. So, we have our release first time, and for all your fans, everybody listening, first announcement right here. We have our release show March 20th. That's going to be at Pisano's Winery in Hunlock Creek. We've been playing there a bunch. They've been great. They've been having bands and stuff. They have like the big outdoor setting, and now they're doing they expanded their indoor stuff. But that's where we're going to have our release show March 20th.
That's where I'm from, actually.
Hunlock Creek?
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Oh, nice. Are you familiar with the winery there?
I'm not. I feel like my family has mentioned that they've been there before, but I've not been there, no.
Yeah, it's right on what's that, 29.
Yeah.
Like where you pass off Moon Lake. If you're coming from Nanticoke, you pass off Moon Lake, and it's probably another half mile to a mile, and then it's on the right. They always like have some flags there by their driveway.
Yeah, it's been interesting, a lot of the venues, them getting creative.
Yeah.
Because they've had to, and I'm happy that they have, because it gives people like you still a shot at having performers and entertainment, and continue doing business.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we've been thankful. I for the past couple of years, I was pretty much just that was my main source of income, was playing music. I do like a lot of acoustic stuff. You could throw me in a corner of a bar somewhere and I'd be good, just me and my acoustic. I did some loop pedal stuff when I'd be solo, but that was, my main thing. I'd play like 3 to 5 shows a week. That was my, that was my work. So,
yeah. And not to promote myself for what I'm doing, because it's not about me, but I do want to interject here real quick. That's why we launched Shirts for the Scene, which is an online store through the help of Axelrad, where obviously, Frank just mentioned, bands have not been able to play. So, he just said he plays 3 or 4 times a week. He's lucky to play once a week now at all, We're
Once a month.
yeah, once a month. So the reason, and like, people don't understand, I don't think they think about, not that they don't understand, they don't think about the fact that like musicians, like they get paid to play at venues. So even if it's $100 and you're playing 3 times a week, 4 times a week, that's $400 a week. Multiply that by 4. It's a good chunk of change, and it's income that, you know, artists and musicians count on. So when I sat back and thought about it, I'm like, man, like these guys are getting crushed, and no one's really thinking about them. And again, like the entire world is going through this, so everyone's not just like, you know, sitting around on piles of money where they can just be like, oh, who can I help out today? But you know, I thought about the bands for a few different reasons. One, I've kind of thrown myself into the local scene here over the past almost 17 years now. Um, and I just wanted to make a difference. And like, and you can kind of attest to this too. I'm sure you've been part of them, you know, but when people hold benefits or, you know, charity events, the first thing that they do is they say, who can we get to play this benefit? So that way we can draw people. They'll pay the $10 cover, and that money will go to the cause. And bands have always done it year over year, time after time, without hesitation. And, you know, they've never asked us for anything in return. But I thought, you know what, now is a time where they need us. So how can we help them? And so again, with the help of Axelrad Screen Printing, we were able to launch shirts for the scene. And there's over 100 different bands. Yours is included in that store where you can buy the shirt, and the proceeds from the shirt sale go back to the band whose shirt you're buying. So you can get there. The easiest way to get there is going to my website. It's thepopkoproject.com. There's a link at the top of the site. Hit that and you'll be able to browse over 100 different artists in that store. So that will wrap up at the end of March. We're, I think, at like $6,100 so far. I would love to see that number get to 10 before it's all said and done. But yeah, I think I'm hoping that we can you know, make a difference for all you guys.
Yeah, man, and thank you again. That's an awesome thing you're doing. I think I messed up and called it shirts for the cause earlier,
That's
but
fine.
shirts for the scene, man. Yeah, you're doing a great thing, and you know, you're doing it for no other reason than that, you know, do the great thing itself. So, you know, speaking as one of the bands involved in that, thank you.
You're very welcome. But you were saying, I'm sorry, I interrupted. You're out there playing solo shows, and, you know, 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, so you know, I was kind of doing that even before Mellifluous was a band. We had worked with the other 2 guys. You know, we had all worked in different bands kind of years prior, here and there. But yeah, so that was, you know, that was my main thing. And then once we formed Mellifluous, I was like, awesome, let's add that. You know, we did some different songs, maybe like some different covers. We tried to do like some new unique ones, and then trying to get, you know, all the stuff I was playing solo, like, well, let's get the whole band there. And our schedule was starting to fill up. You know, we were starting to get more recognition. It's always great when after you play for a while, people start calling you and say, hey, I heard about your band, or I saw your band, you know, you play here. And that was good, you know, that was good to make a couple bucks, you know, put money towards the band fund, towards merch and the EP and everything like that. So staying busy with the cover gigs was just good, you know, overall to support, you know, for us, the originals are the main goal, like the long-term, you know, thing to focus on. But, you know, playing cover gigs is great. There's, you know, we gain a lot of fans that way. You know, we make money to make other things possible and everything like that. So yeah, we had a full schedule for 2020, and again, the tour was going to be brand new with the EP out and stuff, and so we've just been trying now. Like, I kind of just redid the studio, built a computer, got a bunch of new software, music editing software, video editing software, and now rolling with the punches. We're going to just start releasing a lot more virtual content, pretty much. But again, you know, I think what we plan to do is, because again, you know, the virtual content's great, but at the same time, it's not as good as the live stuff.
Right.
It just, yeah, it just doesn't hit the same. So we plan to get a lot of stuff out, kind of build up a more of a fan base that way and engage with a lot of people. And then once everything goes back to normal or whatever, whatever that looks like, we plan to have, a better like I guess bigger fan base, more engagement and stuff like that to maybe have it easier for us to get into some bigger venues and, stuff like that.
Sure. And for those of you who may not, or for those who don't know about your band, I'm afraid to say it again, in a fear of screwing it up.
Mellifluous, yeah.
Mellifluous. For those who haven't not heard of you before, what could they expect?
Some rock and roll.
Well, I definitely feel like your music is not like the cookie cutter music people could expect. Like it's not early 2000s rock. It's not folk. It's definitely unique.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'll definitely take that as a compliment. We try to be a little different. We don't, we definitely try to stay away from the cookie cutter thing, but we're just like we're a melting pot of all of our influences. We cover a lot of like 90s grunge rock. We cover some like, a lot of Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix, Zeppelin. I mean, the rock and roll greats, not to be too cliche with all of that, but
and that's for your like, your cover stuff, right?
Yeah, that's the cover stuff.
Right.
But of course, a lot of the stuff we cover, we try to keep, stuff that's in our vein that's kind of always been there as an influence.
Sure.
So for our originals, we try to just play some, hard rock that's just, pumps you up, kind of high energy stuff. We have like a slow song we call our ballad on the EP. But yeah, we just try to play some cool rock and roll, with maybe like an old school kind of vibe to it. We try to get a little progressive at times with like the certain instrumental stuff we do. But yeah, that's like, again, we're writing now for the second EP already, and we're trying to keep it technical, to wow the musician nerds, but at the same time, just have like that good overall energy that, makes you want to get up and like, bob your head or move around or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the new EP is called Just High Enough, right?
Yes.
Is there a meaning behind that?
Yeah. So, I guess there's a couple meanings with that. I guess the overall meaning, you could perceive that it's open to interpretation, basically, but
I like
it's kind of like just high enough, like just over the hump, like just keeping your head above water of, I guess, a lot of the bullshit that's out there these days. Yeah, I would say
that. I like that. And the lead track, the title track that we'll have in a few here is also called Just High Enough. Is there, I mean, were you talking about that song in particular with what you just said, or is there a meaning behind that song that's different than the EP?
I guess the EP kind of sums all that up. The different songs are definitely about different things. But yeah, pretty much just shattering the grand illusion, of course.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's it. Some Rick and Morty there for you.
I'm not familiar with Rick and Morty.
Oh, dude, you got to watch some Rick and Morty. I'm telling you.
Dude, I mean, I have very limited time the way it is between, being a husband and a father and working full time, like, and then doing this. Like, I've been doing this like 2 or 3 nights a week.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. So I wanted to come out of the gate swinging, so to speak. So yeah, I have very little time to be watching Rick and Morty. Sorry. I'd love to. I heard it's great, but
yeah, no, I got you. But pretty much, yeah, Just High Enough is it's just kind of like, don't get weighed down with a lot of the mainstream BS, the political BS. A lot of times I wouldn't have social media if it wasn't for the band. I
Oh,
would
dude.
definitely a lot of times I just delete it off my phone because I can't, once you get to scroll and you just get to, all the algorithms just lead you to probably the worst headspace you can achieve.
Yeah, it's bad. And I used to be, well, I kind of still am involved in sales to an extent, but like when I was in, with the radio stations, like I kept it for that just because I wanted to be in the know of like new businesses or what people were doing, like different events. Um, and I just left the stations a few weeks ago. I work with Axelrad Screen Printing now, but still have my foot in sales. So, and then I'm doing this, so I can't get rid of social media either.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like a bittersweet thing.
They have us sucked in. Have you seen oh I, d- it's The Social Experiment, I think it's called.
I've not.
It's a movie, so I get to watch like movies like once a week, right?
Oh, cool. There you go.
The
Squeeze in some
so
Rick and Morty. No.
I will. But yeah, I think it's called The Social Experiment, but it talks about how all these platforms and the internet, like they just like target you and consume you, and like it's bad. It's kind of scary, actually. I would definitely encourage you to watch that if you're talking about how you hate social media and shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
Check that out.
Oh, I
It'll
definitely will.
scare you. It'll scare you.
Yeah, I think I might have heard of that actually. Yeah, now that you're explaining what it is. But yeah, a lot of that's kind of the reason I involve myself in music and I write music is to kind of, one of the main goals is to inspire others, kind of get them out of that a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's great. We need that. I love music. I've loved music since I can remember, really. Uh, Anything but country, really.
Yeah, you know what? I say the same thing. I don't have anything against country, but personally I don't really play any country. I don't listen to country if I don't have to.
Yeah. Well, what are some of your inspiration behind your music?
I grew up with a lot of classic rock in my household. Some deeper cuts of certain things, but then you know, just yeah, like the honestly, I'm a rock guy. Any kind of rock, any era of rock. I mean, some of the hair metal stuff isn't really, I don't get into that too much, but I just always thought like, blues influenced rock was kind of my thing. I could listen to some jazz. I kind of learned some jazz here and there to keep myself humble. um,
That's
but
the
yeah,
truth. Yeah.
yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, that stuff's crazy, some of it. But yeah, I listen to a lot of progressive rock. Some of my favorite guitar players. I don't know if you know who Guthrie Govan is.
I don't. I'll write it down though. Uh-oh. All right, we're back again. A little bit of some technical difficulties, thankfully, and I'm gonna call you out here. It was not on me this time. It is not a big deal, man. I'm just busting your balls, but
Yeah,
this happened to me twice in a week, and yeah, had I been smart and hit the pause button instead of the stop button, this would have been seamless. But I hit the wrong button when this all happened, but not a big deal. Thankfully, I have Justin from Ionic Development that helps me out with this stuff, and he pieces it together, and we do a little like a TV uh, thing or whatever, or like a movie where it has that rainbow screen.
yeah.
Yeah, so and
Oh yeah, Justin's great.
he's the best.
Yeah,
I would
he
not
shot
be
a.
able to do this without him. So thank you, Justin. Shout out to you.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ionic Development. They shot a promo video for us last year.
Nice. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
they're a great team there, and like I said, if it wasn't for Justin, I would not be doing this. So again, thank you to him.
yeah,
But
for sure.
we were talking about some of your guitar influences.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned that guy Guthrie Govan. He's in a band
Yes,
called the Aristocrats. He is. Um, if people ask me like who's my favorite guitar player, who do I think like the best guitar player? I mean, he's a little older than we are, but he's still like fairly young, relatively young. I think he's like the best guitar player going, like any genre, any anything. I mean, I think he's my favorite guitar player, but like a lot of people don't know about him. But the
I'll check him
Aristocrats
out.
are like a real progressive rock instrumental band.
Cool.
Yeah, if you're a real guitar nerd, you probably know who he is, like from his YouTube stuff. He has some pretty cool lessons.
Very good. I'll definitely check him out. So what else? We talked about the band. We talked about all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about
Yeah.
you. Let's talk about you.
All right. So
Frank
me,
Marcinkowski.
my name's Frank. I'm currently having work done on my bathroom downstairs. The guy plugged something in, turned it on, and that's what tripped the breaker. So that's on me, that whole thing.
It happens, man. That's the
Yeah.
we were discussing before. Like, I love the fact that we can do this like this, but I also hate it because things like that happen. I had
Right.
2 issues last week. I would love to eventually one day, when COVID kind of hopefully ends, have a studio and bring guests in and things like that. But like, this is great because it's flexible. The sound quality is not the best, but I appreciate you putting your equipment to use there, because I mean, a lot of people just use their computers, and that's fine. I mean, that's the kind of world we live in right now. But
Mhm.
as you know, from an audio standpoint, it's not the ideal situation, but
Right. Yeah.
it offers flexibility. And if I had a studio, I'd have to plan so far ahead. And I just did one with a band. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Their name is Cuddle Drug.
Yeah, I was actually catching a little bit of that earlier.
Yeah, so they that happened with them. The computer froze, but um
Yeah, so much for your whole not editing videos thing, right? You try to
yes,
keep all
well,
the podcasts, you don't cut anything out or anything,
I
and
don't
then
cut anything out.
there you
But
are
I mean,
pasting
so
stuff together
these
when you have
two,
to.
now these two none of it will be edited. They will just be, added together, but we don't cut things out.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but I think I found out about them on a Sunday, and I saw that they were doing a live stream today at 4 o'clock. So I got with them, I think, in 2 days. So if I had a studio, I wouldn't be able to do it that quick. So, and obviously they're in Philly, so I wouldn't have them as in studio guests either. So this is good for, ease of use and, you know, being flexible. So
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, and again, man, I'm a fan. Those Weekender files, those are something. Some of those stories you come off with.
are you familiar with the Weekender?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. You're
I
young.
mean,
You're probably much younger than I am.
I'm 24.
Yes, you're very young. Jesus. 24. Wow. The things I was doing at 24.
Yeah.
I'm 30. Jesus, that's 14 years. You're 14 years younger than me. Wow. That
Damn.
sucks.
Yeah.
That
So
sucks.
I was probably, pretty small. I don't know if I could have been reading yet by the time the Weekender was really at its peak.
Yeah. So I started,
But
I was 21 or 22. So you were like 7 or 8.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was reading by then. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were reading Berenstain Bears or Dr. Seuss books.
Pretty much.
You're,
Yeah, Curious
uh,
George.
I'm out getting hammered drunk and you're reading Dr. Seuss. That's funny.
Oh yeah.
It's funny to think about things like that. Just like the age difference. Oh, it makes me feel so old.
No, you're good. It is funny though, because being like a musician and stuff, all musicians kind of like hang together and stuff. And I'll hang out with like dudes in their 60s and just like jam, like, because I'm trying to, take some lessons, take some
Sure.
notes of like some of these guys have been rocking for all that time. And it's just like we'll be chilling just like I chill with, my friends my age and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but the weekend ones were fun. Like, they've been fun. Um, the funniest thing is we can't talk a lot about the stories that were actually the best, just because they should not be documented anywhere,
Nice.
unfortunately. But they were good times.
Yeah.
It's so weird too, because like, you're 24. Like, the scene, even pre-COVID, is vastly different than, what the scene looked like when I was 24. And then even like 10 years before my time, it was even much different then than it was for me. It's so weird how things change and evolve, and sometimes for the good and sometimes for the bad.
Right.
And it's weird now too, because I feel like the entertainment scene in northeastern Pennsylvania was so like, or actually starting to get so much better, because there was a time, I think in like 2008, 2009, 2010, like the band scene kind of died. A lot of the
Yeah.
clubs and venues shut down. They stopped doing local bands. They started doing DJs. Nothing wrong with that, but they just stopped doing live entertainment in that aspect. And I feel like within the last like 3-4 years, it really started to pick up again. Like you had places like the V Spot and Stage West, and the Keys before that closed. But just different venues that were like actively having live music. And even down in Wilkes-Barre, there was Carl Hall. The Jazz Cafe has always been big into music.
Yep.
I think the scene actually in Scranton was probably better than Wilkes-Barre, but I just feel like there was like a forward progress on it, and then COVID hit, and I think it really
Yeah.
took some wind out of the sails for sure.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I remember growing up, and that was my big inspiration to learn how to play guitar and start playing music and working with bands, is just like being young, and there was any excuse for a festival, like any parking lot, in I'm from Nanticoke, born and raised, but like any parking lot where you could just put up a tent and have like some sort of trailer stage. There's like I remember feeling like, I was younger, but like almost every weekend in the summer, there was like somewhere to go, a bunch of bands playing, stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this. So as I got older, I remember I was in middle school and I was in a band, and then like I would get some shows here and there, like they throw us a little like 20-minute set, half-hour set or something. And we used to play. Then I kind of got away from it myself when I was in high school. I didn't really play any music. But then once I graduated, I wanted to start working with bands again and start like getting out there playing shows. And yeah, I was just like, what happened to everything? Because I was unplugged from it for a while. And then when I got back into it, I'm like, I remember this to be a little bit more happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think people going out in general has changed. Um,
Yeah.
DUI laws have definitely have had an impact on that. Not that people should be allowed to drink and drive. I'm not saying that, but when I was 21 and well before me, even like. All right, so two episodes of technical difficulties. That one's on me. Uh,
We're even now.
Unbelievable. I
Yeah.
hope that one I can convert that. Justin's gonna kill me. I feel like we should probably wrap this up soon, because it's almost like this is not meant to happen.
I know. This is how I felt recording this whole EP. This is the same thing. Maybe it's just me. I think it's just this
Maybe
is
it's
how I'm
you.
destined to operate. Yeah.
Maybe it's you.
Yeah. It's just how I'm meant to operate. There's no other way to do it.
Oh man. Oh geez. But we were talking about the difference of the scene now compared to, you know, I guess my earlier career and my parents. But we were saying just things are different. The DUI laws. Again, I said before, in case that gets cut out. Um, I don't condone drinking and driving, but it was just a different era. So like, and then I
Definitely a big
think
influence.
these things have changed the game a lot.
Yep.
Um, I just don't think people are going out as much as they used to, and I think it's for many reasons, because people are smarter today. They have more information at their fingertips. So it's like when they say they're smarter, like they're not going out drinking in bars and and smoking cigarettes like we used to.
Yeah.
Because they're more health conscious, I think. So they're doing things differently, which stinks, because I mean that's where people want to be entertained, is venues and clubs and things like that. But I don't know, if I can figure it out, I'll try and fix it.
Yeah, please do. Well, I mean, you're doing a great job at trying to fix it, I'd say, with this platform for musicians and stuff. So that's a big help, definitely.
Thank you.
Again.
Yeah, that's
But
what
yeah, even 6 years ago now when I started, I remember playing a lot of like 9 to 1, 10 to 2 slots. And now it's like, gotta cut it by 10. Like we used to start a show at 10, and now pretty much we're wrapping it up by 10.
Dude, I wouldn't go out until 10. Like this
Yeah.
is done. Now I'm in my pajamas. But yeah, we're just talking about this the other day with this will be out on Wednesday. But with a girl I used to work with at the weekend, we talked about how, we wouldn't go out until 10:30. Now stuff's getting, closed at 10:30. So it's nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
I guess people have shit to do in the morning. I mean, I don't know, you gotta fix that.
That's work.
Yeah.
F that. But why don't you tell people where they can find you guys on the internet?
All right. So right now, the best platforms to find us are Facebook at Mellifluous Band, Instagram, Mellifluous Band, NEPA. Believe it or not, everybody wants to make jokes about, what's Mellifluous? Oh, I never heard Mellifluous, all this, right? And then we go to make all these social media accounts, and like it's taken everywhere.
What does it mean?
It's an adjective that describes a voice or sound that is pleasant to the ear.
Okay. That makes sense now. Okay.
Definitely, yeah. It's funny. Every once in a while, we'll be like at a bar or something, and they're like, the one guy in the corner of the bar that he's just there all the time will go, "Oh, Mellifluous. Oh, I know what that means." And it's like the last person that you might think knows the true definition will just say it word for word, and it's like, oh, see, that's cool. Yeah. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're gonna get that boosted now. You can find us on YouTube now, but we're gonna have, again, the virtual content's gonna be flowing. The EP is gonna be on all those. You can definitely find them: Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Bandcamp. I think Reverb Nation as well. It's going to be another platform. Then, yeah, pretty much anywhere you can think of. So
cool. Well, best of luck with the new EP due out. You said February 25th.
Yep, the end of this month.
Cool. Well, I want to wrap this up before I have to break the tiebreaker of how many technical difficulties we can have. But yeah, best of luck with the new EP. February 25th, Just High Enough. And I guess we'll close the show out with the new song from that EP.
That's right. The title track, looking good. I want to say thank you to all of our fans for all the support. We're finally getting that squad back out, every time we're playing. And, thank you to Tony for mixing this thing. Thanks to Norm, our sound guy. He makes us sound great. And thank you, John Popko. You are the man, and I'd love to be back on your show whenever you want to have me back.
Hopefully next time we'll have a studio. We'll sit back. We'll have some beers, and we'll shoot the shit.
Sounds great, man.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry again for the mix-ups and shit, but let's rip this new tune. Mellifluous, Just High Enough. We'll see you, man.
See you. Thank you very much.
Yeah!